Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado, and this is my buddy Puccini, and he helps me in the craft room, and at the very least he keeps me company. And we have kind of a fun project for you today. It's not a card, but it's something that you can use for the holidays. It's fast and easy, and you can make a million of them in a hurry, and it uses a 6 by 6 inch piece of paper. So let's just get started. Okay, here is my project, and I'm doing these for a fall themed swap. And I use some of that paper that's in the fall catalog here, the July to December catalog. And this is the one that has the flowers and the pumpkins and the gourds. And I'm using some of this pumpkin paper. And I've made this thing. This is not a new idea. This has been around forever. But I haven't made any of these in a really long time. There's no glue. There's only scoring and folding to make this. So I thought it might be kind of a fun project, and I'm going to show you how to make them. So I'm going to be using my trimmer, and I want to make sure I've got that completely in the screen so you can see what it is. And here is my 6 by 6 piece of paper. Now there's a lot of paper in this suite that really lends itself to use for this kind of a project. And I have another idea too. With these made a little bit longer, I thought these would be great fun for Christmas gift bag tags, that you could tie this little piece onto your package and put a little tag on the inside of one side of this. These things come out and can go in this. In this one I've got a little Ghirardelli chocolate, and on this one I've got a little bag of tea. I'm not going to take this one out because I used a glue dot to kind of hold that one in place, but it is just some individually wrapped tea bags that I got at the grocery store. And I'm sure that you could put a chocolate peppermint, or you could put a candy cane, any number of things in here, and just put a for you with a little gift tag that says from, in my case it might be Aunt Linda, and then maybe a poinsettia or something down here and a few leaves, and you're all ready to go, and they're really fast. So I'm going to show you how to make these. The first thing we're going to do, and I'll keep checking here to make sure we're on camera. Let me get a few more lights going here. All right, so we're going to start by putting each of these corners in the cutting channel here, but we're not going to cut, we're just going to score. So I'm going to set those so that they're in there, and I'm going to score this on that cutting channel. And so there's our first score. Now what I'm going to do is move these 2 points over to the 1/2 inch mark on this side, and I'm going to score again. So there's a score on this side, and then I'm going to move it back across the cutting channel to the 1/2 inch mark on this side of the cutting channel. So now I've got score marks here, once on the diagonal completely down the page, and a 1/2 inch on this side and a 1/2 inch on this side. Now we're going to turn this paper with our score marks going this way, and I'm going to fold a couple of these just so you can see them and be oriented towards them when we're scoring the other way. Now I'm going to turn it so that my score marks are going across this way, and I'm going to set these points now at 1 1/4 inches. So 1 1/4 there, and 1 1/4 down here, and I'm going to score this again, and then I'm going to do that same thing, turn it around and put these points at 1 1/4 and 1 1/4. And you can make the pocket that this creates a little bit bigger by moving these two score lines. In makes it a little narrower, outer makes it a little wider. Okay, so that is it. We are done with our scoring. So down the middle, over a 1/2 inch, and then over a 1/2 inch on the other side. Turn it that way. Put your points at 1 1/4 inches and score. Turn it around, 1 1/4 inches and score. So now we're going to burnish these score lines. And I'm going to just burnish them back and forth here. And then I'll show you about putting it together. And it's just kind of a fun little thing if you do a card class to have these available for your card class participants as a little gift. That can be kind of fun too. And there's our ones on the sides. So there we go. All right. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you this again. We're going to make this little gusset down here at the bottom. So we are going to fold that like this, and then like this, over on that 1/2 inch side, just like that. All right. And then on the back side, I'm going to fold in this one, and you're going to see that it's in the way of the fold on this one. So this one I'm going to fold back on itself right along that same score line, and just to move it out of the way. And the same thing as we come across this way, I'm going to fold this one back on itself here, just ever so slightly. Then I'm going to fold this in half. So right up like this. And there we go. Then you fold this piece back and this piece back, and there you've got your two little pockets, one on this side and one on this side to put your little treasure in. And then you can fasten it any way you want. What I did was this. I just happened to have this old punch from Stampin' Up, but any punch will do. And that is to get just a tiny little circle, and I'll show you how big this one is, right in here to cut that little circle there at the top. Then I used, remember this ribbon, this mossy meadow ribbon? In fact, last time I checked, it was still on the clearance package, or on the clearance site. So that's why I'm using this one. And you cut yourself a length of string. This I'm cutting very long, but if you're going to tie it around a package, then you want it a little bit longer. This is a little over 11 inches, which is a little overkill. But I'm going to call this the front of my package. So I'm going to put this little loop through the hole, and the hole doesn't have to be anywhere near this big. If you've got a punch that cuts a little smaller hole, that works just fine too. And I'm going to then put these two ends through that loop and pull that up tight. Now, if you're worried about your ribbon, or your ribbon is satin and is slick, you can always put a glue dot underneath to kind of hold all of this assembly still. Now, mine is just a little bit too long there, but there is my package all ready to go. Then it's a matter of taking my T, and I slid my T into one side here, and then I stuck my Giardelli square into the back side. And for mine, I used a little bit of this paper, which is the very vanilla, although I suppose you could get away with white. It just seemed like it would be better with the very vanilla paper. And I used a stamp set from, it's new this year, and I just love it. This is Charming Sentiments, and it's got thank you, everything will be okay, beyond grateful, woohoo, hey there, super fantastic, mega news, babies are a blessing, all of these wonderful sentiments. And the thing I liked so much about this is it comes with this die set. So I used Beyond Grateful and my little piece of paper here, and I used Cajun Craze ink, and so there's my Beyond Grateful, and here's my Cajun Craze ink, and you can just do this any place on your paper, because then you can use the die and put that in place around your sentiment. And what you get done when you run that through your machine is this. So there's my Beyond Grateful. And what I did on mine was I used a little bit of Tombow glue on the bottom. Move some of this out of the way. On my Grateful here, just a little bead along there. And I put that kind of cattywampus on my little packet, hold it in place for just a second, and then using our leaf and flower punch, can't remember the name of it, I'll put it up on the screen for you, I ran a little strip of Cajun Craze down on the bottom here to get the smaller of these flowers, and then I used another punch to get a couple of little leaves on there. And so what I've done is just take my my flower and give it a little dimension, add a little bit of Tombow to the back of my flower, and get that placed on the front of my little package here. Gonna hold that in place for a second. And because these get manhandled a bit, I decided that on these I was going to use Tombow to put down all of these pieces. And so put a little bit of Tombow on my leaves here and stick this little bunch in place on one side of my flower there. And then I punched out quite a few of them, and so I'm going to cut this one off on this side and put a little bit of Tombow on that leaf and stem and stick that on this side of my little flower. And again, just holding them in place for a couple of seconds so that Tombow gets its grip. And then, let's see, I used some of our champagne rhinestones. Used a champagne rhinestone as the center of my flower right in here. Now you can add a little bit more if you want. I have this black marker, and I can add a couple of little marks here to make it look like stems on the markings on the flower. And there you go. There's my one for my fall themed swap. There it is. There's my project. And very simple, very fast. And I love the idea of maybe doing this for Christmas packages, to go ahead and start making some up out of some of the Christmas paper that we have, and putting like a little peppermint candy cane on one side, and then something that says "for you" on here with a little message from whoever, and then just tie this up on my packages. I think that would be just a lot of fun for people to get. So that is my project for the day. I have a bunch of these done in, let's see, the gourd paper. So that's what those look like. Some with just the orange paper and then the fall leaves on the inside. And actually you could do that either way. I did it so that it would look like that. And so I've got a whole bunch of these ready to go, and I just have to get some more Ghirardelli chocolates. I'm just about out. That's because I've been making one and eating one. In any case, I wanted to say, though, to all of my wonderful subscribers, you are such a wonderful, supportive, and lovely group of people to have supported me through this very challenging month. I had the opportunity to go to a Stampin' Up! Event sort of at the end of the month. It's the first time we've been in person for quite a while, and so it was an opportunity to run away from home. And it was lovely to be amongst like-minded people. But your love, support, and your beautiful, kind words are just cherished, believe me. I can't thank you enough for your continued support of my channel. So I'll be back in my regular schedule starting this week. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon. Bye.